But so what is there a music scene in Oklahoma City? I mean, because Portland's on the map in a sense that, you know, even from abroad and across the Atlantic, you've heard of it, and you know kind of, you know, half a dozen bands from the area. But I think you guys have definitely placed people I've heard of coming from Oklahoma.
Well, besides the Flaming Lips, that's about it.
Does that make sense?
And Hanson. Flaming Lips and Hanson, and the All-American Rejects. There really isn't much of a music scene as far as like. There's a lot of good bands, but it's not like a real community-driven music scene. I feel like I've been able to write some stuff that's like a little more uplifting since then. But no, definitely during the EP. I mean, I wrote those songs when I was 19, so I mean, I'm not a whole lot older now. I'm 21. I'll be 22 in like 2 weeks. So I'm not like ridiculous amount older. It's like I'm not old or anything, but kind of one of those lock yourself in the bedroom, write a bunch of like depressing songs when you're 19 sort of thing. So,
did you feel early on you kind of had to write female singer-songwriter songs?
I think before it's just kind of like all I knew. I feel like probably the primary reason that I've been writing a little differently is just because I've been just touring around and playing with bands. I've been exposed to different things. So before it was like all I ever listened to at home, it's like Bob Dylan, or, you know, just like traditional singer, Woody Guthrie, you know, whatever.
Verse, bridge, chorus, this is the way it's put together.
Yeah, exactly. And so now it's like, you know, I like the Violet Femmes, I like, you know, Radiohead. You know, it's just like you get into different types of music and it affects, you know, how you write songs. And kind of, I think, helps you think about the other people that are playing in the band, you know, what they might want to play on the songs.
Because I always think, you know, if I was to sit down and write a song myself, which I of course couldn't possibly do in a million years, but you always think that you'd write something that you'd want to hear. Consequently, you'd probably end up writing something that sounds like stuff in your music collection. Consequently, the stuff you like the best is probably the stuff you'd end up kind of sounding like, but it actually doesn't seem to be the case at all.
No, I don't think it is.
No, that's true.
Like, I don't know, I listen to some stuff that doesn't sound anything like it. I think the way that works usually is you have this stuff that, like when you first start writing music or when you first get into music, there's something that, whatever you're listening to at that point, that kind of plays the initial influence on you. And pretty much from then on, unless you consciously make a decision not to sound like that, that's kind of what you're gonna, that's the initial like thing you're gonna sound like. Or whatever you decide, you know, early on, like, I'm going to play this sort of music or something like that. But after that, you know, you get into different sorts of things, or you just start experimenting, and...
So when you first picked up a guitar, you were thinking Bob Dylan, Woody Guthrie, and that's the sort of stuff you started out with. Whereas now, well, it's almost more of a rock and roll sound in a sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of, well, I mean, I know Bob Dylan went through that phase himself too, but then when you listen to say the Violent Femmes, for example, never tempted to try and write a song that sounds like that, or is that just kind of?
I think it's one of those things that kind of like you take elements of that. Like we have a new song called "Get the Fever Out," which has, I think, some punk elements to it, but it's enough folk that you know it still sounds like us.
Would you call yourself a folk singer then?
I don't think we're a folk band. That's just kind of what people pigeonhole us as. I think we're a rock band, but.
No,
whatever that means, I don't know.
Can we see how we need to bury you? All the trees, all debris, split into washing machine. It's a greatest enemy. Work it out, don't ship out in an old canoe, get the fever out, you're better off without, get the fever out. out the hounds to catch the flame, catch that flame. Can we see how we need to bury you, bury you? Pick your grave or keep the change and tell the truth, tell the truth.
As the record gets out and people have heard it, you start to, presumably you'll start to find more fans who know the songs and who are on your side from the very start, which I suppose presumably will give you a bit more confidence in the performance, and you know, you'll be on a high, well not high, but you'll be on a positive footing from the start, you know.
I think that's I think that's a good way to put it. I think we still have enough shows where nobody has any idea who we are, that we still have a fair amount of those shows during the tour that are kind of awkward from the beginning, but every once in a while we'll have a good show where, you know, people are singing along, and it's just a good feeling knowing that, you know, your hard work's paying off, I guess, or that you're touching, you know, somebody, that people like your song enough to learn it. That was always the thing for me, is like, anytime I learned a song or had a song in my head, it usually meant that I had listened to it enough that it was either ingrained in my head or I liked it enough that I purposely tried to learn it, you know.
Touring by yourself must be pretty fucking depressing, to be honest, I assume, or, well, lonely almost. Most, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. Well, you'll meet people, and then that'll be it. Like, I'll never see you again. So, you know, we're definitely
sick of each other. No, I'm just kidding.
We're definitely tired of it. No, I'm joking.
Definitely, this is our last interview we're ever doing. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Yeah, it happens. Loneliness. Driving through Wyoming on tour, that's loneliness. Yeah. No. But it's good because, well, with the band, like when I was touring by myself, that was just like, that was almost like, I almost couldn't handle that. It was like, hi, I'm like talking to myself, like I just don't know what to do. But I mean, at least with the band, like you have friends like with you, I guess, traveling. So it's a little better.
Yeah.
Until you start hating each other. I know. I'm just kidding. We don't hate each other. It's just like, you know, brother and sister rivalry.
Who controls the stereo when you drive?
Whoever's driving. That's our rule.
So,
we have a few band rules, and that's one of them. Whoever's driving controls the music.
Yeah.
What are the others?
We have a sexual harassment policy.
What? It's mandatory, or
it's tolerance.
Tolerance.
That's our sexual harassment policy. Tolerance.
Which is probably not healthy at all.
No.
Tonight, but a bit of overnight we made home beds of nails and nightmares. When dust clouds over the sun, a web of confusion, spun by spiders crawling faster towards redemption. See them crawl, see them crawl, see them. So we're walking around the houses with our eyes so tight and flying a kite in the yard, still unfamiliar with where we are. I'm a spinning windmill, turning keys and locks tonight, and safe inside your arms. I see the trees outside my window. Inside my home and my clothes and the rose, my own mind, and I know it's not a sign. I just messed up this time.